Hello, friends, and welcome to the Confirmation Companion podcast at First Church Hudson. I'm Reverend Connor Filkins, and today we are going to be talking about the roles of parent, mentor, and student in our confirmation program and the experiences that they have. Today I have Callie and Allie with me. I was really looking forward to saying Callie and Allie. Callie and Allie are both here on staff with us at First Church right now. But once upon a time, they were both a mentor and student for one another in Allie's confirmation experience. So we're going to hear from them today about that experience. We're also going to hear from Callie about her experience as a parent to two confirmation students and almost three in just a couple of years. That's really exciting. So I think I will start with Allie first. Your experience with Callie as a mentor, how did that come to be? What was that like? Tell us what your experience was.
Yeah, so when I joined First Church, I joined when I was a sophomore in high school. I was trying to figure out my space here, and at the time, I said before that in a different podcast episode that I was raised Catholic, and I during that school year was supposed to get confirmed in my Catholic religion. I joined the church here at First Church and decided that I wanted to go through the confirmation process here. So I was a sophomore, and at the time, the confirmands were freshmen. So I was a year older. I didn't really know anyone. I didn't really have a lot of connections here. I was brought here from a friend who had already gotten confirmed. So Steve Hoekstra, the youth minister at the time, kind of set me up with Callie. He thought it would be a good fit for the both of us. And it was. I think that I was able to then get connected with another adult here at the church that made me feel safe and comfortable, and was just another shoulder to, lean on when I needed help, or ask questions when I had them, not just questions about my faith, but questions about the world and my life, and I love that.
Yeah. Callie, when you were set up with Allie to be a mentor, what was going through your mind? What was that process like to be matched with a student? Did you know her at that point?
I knew her from, I was volunteering still at that point so we had known each other like at, we had been going to SALT together, and what was it called? Impact. It was, but I had been volunteering there. So it was very cool to be asked.
Yeah.
Because I had not done it before. So I was excited to do it.
Yeah.
A little hesitant because I had switched churches and wound up as a kid, I had switched churches and wound up in a confirmation class where I was older than everybody. And and I never, it never really clicked. I don't know, but I felt like I sort of knew, okay, I'm ready for this because I have been in that position. So I was excited to do it.
And that's really cool. I didn't actually know that you had that experience, because Allie is going to be mentoring another student with that same, is going to be older than a lot of the students in that class. Right now we do confirmation in 8th grade, and you're going to be mentoring a freshman that's going through that.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what that was like as an older student in a group of not too much younger, but still younger than you.
Yeah. Well, I think something that this church does very well, and a reason that I was so drawn here, is that everyone is one big happy family and everyone supports everyone. So I was able to actually connect and meet some kids that were not in my grade, and make some friends at the church that weren't the friends that brought me to the church. I was able to just step out of my comfort zone a little bit and kind of experience confirmation from the lens of it wasn't just about all of those formalities, and it was about something bigger. And it allowed me to hop off the bandwagon of this is the routine you do it in 8th grade or freshman year, and you go through the motions and really think about is it something, or what it meant to me and how I wanted to follow through with that
Yeah.
process.
Yeah. So that's one of the big things that I think is really great about our confirmation program, is that it's less of a downloading of doctrine and more of an exploration of where you are in your faith journey at that point in time. What did it mean for you to have a space to be able to explore that, and a person who was in that mindset to explore it with?
Yeah. I think that being provided that space allowed me to really discover what faith meant to me. It kickstarted a journey for me that opened my eyes up to what faith and community and service and all of these big aspects of what religion or what my spirituality meant, and kind of put them into action. But I was just provided with nothing but space and like the comfort to be able to explore anything I wanted to. So I could ask questions to Callie. I could ask questions to Steve. I could, as I was learning things and exploring new things, I could ask questions to my peers and ask questions to myself and have the time to explore those things. Throughout the confirmation process, I felt really drawn to what I was kind of learning and embodying, and less of kind of that, like, kind of the hoops that I was saying, or the formalities. And I really wanted it to mean something to me.
Yeah.
And I did end up choosing not to get completely confirmed. I went through the entire process, but although many people were saying, do it, something in me just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, and I knew that I was given that space all along to kind of explore these things and question and wonder, and I knew that I'd found the church who would listen to me and hear me and say, that's okay.
Yeah.
We're glad we could provide you the space to explore these things. And, if and when you're ready, we're still going to be here.
Yeah. What a really cool thing. I think that's something that doesn't get talked about enough, is that it is okay to make that choice to not get confirmed at the end. And somehow she still ended up working at a church. Like, what a crazy thought. I mean, and I think that, for me as a facilitator of a confirmation program, I think that is a right and good outcome, because, again, it's authentic to where you are at. Callie, what was that like to walk with Allie through that year, see her grow, and then see her make kind of this decision that was kind of outside of what the norm would have been?
Well, it's funny because, like, looking back on it now, like, there's a lot of years have passed. So it's funny to look back at it because, first of all, you felt so much older than the other kids, but you really weren't. You were like 1 year older than them. And but I remember at the time feeling like, oh, she's so much older. She's so much more mature. She's so interesting to talk to. Not that those younger kids aren't, but it just, you seemed a lot older. And partly I think it probably was coming at it from the experience that you were coming with it. You were coming with a different background into it. So that was interesting. And it was funny because I almost wanted to joke about, like, oh, I didn't do my job, or I was, but even then, looking back now, for sure, I feel like it was an amazing and successful experience. Like, totally, all good. But even in the moment, like, I kind of knew, like, this is, like, it's not like you were like, this is dumb, or I'm leaving, or anything like that. And there have been a couple students, you sort of, I don't know, I'm so thankful that that was my first experience as a mentor. And, like, early in my role as somebody who worked with youth at the church, But I feel like the kids who are like, I don't want to be confirmed because I still have so many questions, or I'm not sure about X, Y, or Z. What I hear you saying is like, I'm committed to finding out more. I need to know more. I need to do more, which maybe I'm wrong, but to me, that's what we're asking at confirmation.
Yeah.
And it is impossible to, I think, for a student that age to see that, like, you're exactly the person who should be confirmed. Like, you're confirming your journey and your learning. And so to me, even though you aren't technically confirmed, like, that is the biggest confirmation or affirmation of that journey and that process. So when a student says they don't want to be confirmed for the way that you did, I always feel like, well, you're in the right place. We're on a great path together. Whether or not you put on that robe on that day and do that. So that's...
Yeah, it is really cool. I think that is ultimately the goal, is to have some serious thought, some serious reflection, and to help kind of find ultimately your voice and your understanding, again, at that particular time. Because I think based on conversations we've had, things have evolved even since then. And again, it's a journey. And I think that's the challenging part of confirmation, is it can feel like well, why wouldn't you do this? Because you've put in all the work. It's really a one-time thing. So there's this tension between this is the one time you're going to do it, and you're going to be a person of faith, exploring faith for the rest of your life, which will hopefully be a long, long time after you're confirmed. So it can be a very interesting and weird thing to try and figure out. Confirmands are asked very specific faith statements on Confirmation Sunday too, that, depending on where they're at in their faith, they might not be vibing with those statements. So it is a very interesting, tension-filled process that I think is challenging for everyone in certain ways, but really cool for everyone in certain ways. Callie, I want to hear from you, in your experience as a mentor, for those mentors that are listening to this. What is it that you think makes a good mentor? If you were talking to them, what would be some advice that you would give to our mentors in the program?
Well, I feel like, it's funny when you were talking about just what the role of a mentor is, but also like what confirmation is and what it isn't. It makes being a mentor something that is always like new and interesting, because it's not like, oh, I already taught them this. You're not memorizing things or filling out a checklist. You are in these conversations with the students, and so they're so different every year. Even if the questions are the same, you're having these really interesting conversations, and they are conversations. You're not a teacher so much as a partner, and so even if you've done it before, it doesn't get old or boring. It's really interesting, and it's really rewarding to talk to a kid about stuff that you might not ask them such personal questions, even if you were going out just to you for a coffee or something. So you get a chance to really hear their thoughts, but think about your own faith too. I think it is such a growth process for both people. So you don't. It was my job for a while to recruit mentors, to ask people to be mentors, and the number one response, I'm guessing yours is the same, is, oh, I don't know enough. I could never.
Right.
And it's the truth that you don't need to be a Bible expert. That's why we have you.
Yes.
You're the professional. So the role of the mentor is not to be the person who has necessarily that deep theological background. I mean, a faithful, thoughtful background is what's important. And but being willing to get to know a kid, to ask some questions, and to be willing to explore them yourself with that kid, I think that's the qualification that you need.
Absolutely.
It is not, a set of knowledge.
Yeah, I would love to echo that. I think that what you just said there captures it perfectly. In youth ministry, I don't look for someone who is this polished, knowledgeable, deep theological background for the people that I want to connect with kids. I want people that are comfortable in who they are, that are okay with not being polished, right? Because the best gift we can give the kids and students that we work with is to show them that it is okay to not be polished, to not have it all together, to not know, to be comfortable saying, I don't know. What do you think about that? Because that space to think creatively and not be kind of put in a box is so important in this process and beyond too.
And I think too that people they sell themselves short on what they bring to the table in that respect. Like a lot of our mentors are parents. Like you've grown up with your kids here at the church a lot of the time. You have learned about those stories over and over again. You might have learned them on your own journey. You might have learned them along with your kiddo, and you might not have a lesson plan in your back pocket about it, but you know about it, and you bring your life experience too. I don't know. So I think people sell themselves short on just what they bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned a lot of mentors are parents. Yeah. Talk to me about the parent role and what it was like. So you've had two of your kiddos that have been confirmed at this point. What was that experience like, seeing them walk through that journey?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And for us, it was really neat to think about who we wanted to be their mentor. So with both of our kids, we asked somebody to be their mentor. And it was something that, to me, it was not difficult to pick who that was. Genevieve connected with her mentor, Megan, on the middle school mission trips. And you could just, right away, it was like, oh my gosh, this is neat. This is a neat friendship. And so we asked her, and she, of course, said yes. And then Vivi, it was a friend's mom but also, they've got this connection. They've known each other since they were little. Yeah. So for us, it was really neat to see somebody who already knew and loved my kid, and Megan, they hadn't known each other super long, but still, they went into it having a connection. And then, so it was just so cool to see that other person really just be so interested in my kid and take such good care of them on this journey. It's awesome. And it's a connection that just lasts. They for sure get the Christmas card. They for sure, come to the graduation party. They are someone who is, in our family circle, in a new way that I think lasts. So, and you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you.
Go for it.
Being just that idea of being connected to somebody, as a mentor, every time when confirmation rolls around, I sort of think about my own kids' mentors, I should check in with them, or I should, but I also think about the kids I've mentored. So I've mentored a few kids over the years, and every year it's I should check in with them, see how they're doing, go to their game. So it's a reminder to me too to keep that. Yeah.
It's
another.
ongoing.
Yeah, it is a relationship that lasts.
I still have the journal that Callie gave me at the end, and I used it all the way up until I think I finally filled it in college. So, and I mean, we would keep in touch. One time we ran into each other at the airport, the Cleveland airport, and took a picture when I was in college. Hadn't seen each other for a couple of years. So, I mean, I always knew that I had that connection still here at the church, and.
And then, do you remember you told me when you finished that journal?
Oh yeah.
Did you? And it was I didn't know that you had been using it. You know what I mean? It was just such a oh my gosh! It was really a nice, just a reminder again of that. It's just something that lasts.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's the cool part. Now that we're all sitting here, we're all in a role where we are kind of in the adult seat with our relationships with the students here. And I think it's so cool to see the level of meaning that we get to impart on those students' lives. I think that's the cool thing about being a mentor in this program. I think it's a cool thing about kind of the pay it forward aspect of that too, because we've all had people in our lives that have been that adult, and we get to now be that adult for kids now that we might have needed back in the day. Are there any closing thoughts that you guys would like to share? Maybe a parting kind of, if you're, what is the one thing you need to know about confirmation going in from a student's perspective and from a mentor's perspective to make that mentor and student relationship work the best?
For me, it's just to be open. I said it so many times about the being open and accepting of all these questions and not thinking that anyone is going in with this preconceived idea of you or to expect anything of that person too, like vice versa. So I think to just go in with a completely open mind and know that you're going to learn a lot about yourself on this journey, and your mentor is there to help facilitate that for you. Just let them. They're there to love you and help show you how worthy you should feel.
Awesome. Callie, how about you?
I would just, if someone asks you, or if you're thinking about doing it, I would say yes, because you're saying yes to that confirmand. You're saying yes to that person, and all the other stuff. Connor can help you. The other parents can help you. But if you look at that kid and say, yes, that's a kid that I know or want to get to know, like that relationship is what it's all about. And so I would say, take the plunge. Like, you will not be sorry.
Awesome. Take the plunge indeed. Friends, thank you so much for taking your time to watch or listen to this episode of the Confirmation Companion podcast, and we will see you next time. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, friends, we'll see you next time.